Yeah, so I don't know who said the famous quote, but I always tell my first-year teachers that control is an illusion in the classroom. The more you try to grasp it, the more it's actually a Star Wars quote, I believe. And the more you try to control, the more control, goes away from you. I think there's a problem in education that we don't trust kids in general, that we think that they won't do anything if they're not told to do something. Personally, I don't have that issue as I really think kids can learn a lot without us as teachers, as long as we give them really good, safe environments to work in, and we give them really good resources, and we teach them how to learn as opposed to what to learn. So for us at TGS, I think we give up a lot of control to the students. 40% of the curriculum is student designed, which means they propose the idea, they come up with the solutions, and it's not out of a book or a canned curriculum. So I do think that is one of the major problems, is that there's this idea that everybody should learn X, Y, and Z, when in reality, people learn what they need to learn because they're interested about it. So I could talk about your team here right in this room, and they're probably experts in sound and photography that I will never be an expert probably in, because that's just not my passion, but it's their passion. So they're experts at it. And so I think if we give autonomy and choice and we trust kids, they're going to learn some amazing things and really surprise us, as opposed to be limited by our definition of what should be learned. So how do we do that at a traveling school now? That takes it to a whole new level. Because we don't have a place, of 4 walls, and invested a lot of money in infrastructure, there's really not a necessity for us to look like we're learning in a classroom situation. Learning for us in Botswana, which we just completed, was 8 weeks. Part of the time was in a game rover tracking elephants and lions and leopards and all these different animals, and then part of the time was in the camp with researchers crunching the data and modeling wildlife populations. And so those are the opportunities you have when you're not like, oh, I need to be in the classroom, or we have this amazing library. Why is nobody using this building? And so you kind of get anchored by what you've created, and when you don't have much, and you travel really light, you have to take opportunities to learn everywhere you go. And so our classroom never looks the same. In Peru, our classroom was at a resort, and most of our classes were outside overlooking the Sacred Valley. In Botswana, we were in tents. In Vancouver, we were actually rented out a makerspace that wasn't being utilized in the morning. It was 80,000 square feet of makerspace. And we're like, that's the place where we want to work. They had laser cutters and laser printers, and so all those kinds of things. And so you really just have to bust open what you define as a classroom space, especially as a traveling boarding school. But anybody could do this in their communities.